Hello, Science 110, and welcome to week 2. In this week, we're going to delve into the history of science. We'll start off with part 1 of our unit 2 by just kind of looking at an overview of the history of science. I'm going to have you read some work by Carl Sagan. I've linked the entire text of his book Cosmos in the unit. You do not have to read the entire book. I would just like you to read one chapter. And as you're reading that chapter, think about what you're reading and think about any questions that chapter brings up. Okay, we're going to look at some of the history behind how we got basically from there to here, some of the early concepts behind science and how we evolved from those early concepts into our definition of science today. We're going to talk about things like, can we identify the first scientist? There's a little bit of debate there about who really was the first scientist. And is it really possible to figure out who the first scientist was? Because if we think about the way our world has evolved, not everything was committed to writing. A lot of things were passed on through oral history. And so given that, is it possible for us to say, yeah, this dude or this gal, this person in the ancient world, they were the first scientist? So that's something that we're going to think about in this unit as well. Okay, we're also going to then get more toward the modern world. And at the end of the unit, you will get to create a timeline. You'll pick 10 things somewhere in the history of the last 100, 120-ish years, basically the 19th century up until today, so maybe like the last couple hundred years. So you'll think about, 10 events. So I'm a chemist, so I would probably pick 10 events that had to do with chemistry. And I've linked some examples of past student works that you can see so you can get an idea for what I'm looking for in that timeline. Pick something that's interesting to you. Don't just pick some random topic and then as you start to research it, you go, oh my goodness, why did I choose this? Try to come up with something that is interesting to you. Okay, and then of course we will have the first exam, or not the first exam, the second exam because we're in unit 2. And then we will be starting our term project as well. So in the first couple of days of the week, one of your tasks will be to start coming up with ideas for your term project. And then I will grade those, and then you have to write up a full project proposal for your term project. This is a really, really tight turnaround because we are in such a condensed semester. We only have 6 weeks to do this course instead of 16. And so I can't give you several weeks to start thinking about your term project ideas. We kind of got to go boom, 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 and get them going right away so you actually have time to carry out your project. So that is what to expect in week 2. And so hopefully you'll find this stuff interesting. I guess it's not really obviously. I do have colleagues that are scientists that are just kind of, okay, cool. This is science right now. But I personally have always been really interested in the history behind science and that understanding of, again, where we were then to where we are now and how we started developing some of these thoughts and ideas. And it's really interesting because a lot of modern chemistry started to arise out of medieval alchemy. So a lot of the things that they did in medieval times to try to turn lead into gold helped develop a lot of the techniques that we use for very classic wet chemistry today. So alchemy, yeah, not a thing, but chemistry, absolutely a thing. So I think that's pretty cool that, even something that's been debunked thoroughly, like alchemy, still gave us a lot of fundamental pieces with which to build on and actually develop and, broaden our understanding of a real science. So hopefully you will enjoy this week's topic and keep on plugging away at the work and come up with some interesting term project ideas. And again, make sure it's something that interests you because you're the one that has to carry out the project and nobody wants to be stuck doing a project where you go, wait a second, why did I pick this? So come up with something interesting to you so that you don't dread having to work on it.